Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scorpio October 2022 monthly miracle message reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi everyone and welcome. This is a reading that is meant to take a look at a miracle that is waiting to come in for you this month. Now I'm a big believer in miracles, both large and small. When I talk about miracles, these are those little things that come into our life that we were not expecting, the opportunities to elevate and bring a level of prosperity into some aspect of our experience that we either thought wasn't possible or that wasn't possible in this time frame or that we just weren't expecting. And it brings that level of joy, awe, and wonder to our everyday experience and gets us closer to really feeling into the mystery of just everything. Now this reading is a little less in depth than my monthly illumination reading. So if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can visit my channel and click on the monthly illumination reading for each sign if you're interested in that. But this is again kind of more along the lines of giving yourself that compass point to where you can, on a spiritual sense, kind of open up your third eye and your spiritual ears to really be aware of, in this aspect of your experience, where Spirit is trying to bring in an opportunity, or Spirit's trying to say, look over here, here you go. And where sometimes we can block ourselves from that because we are in a place of kind of disbelief. We're in the place of kind of a lack of faith in our experience. And this is where we get that chance to kind of reconnect with that, reconnect with the faith, the awe, the wonder, and the magic of our life experience. Okay, so we have Thinker. So this is going to be that main compass point. I'm going to read the excerpt from the book that comes with this oracle deck, and then we're going to pull some additional cards and some clarifiers and get deeper into the message. So Thinker with number 44. It's a beautiful number to have. It's an angelic number. It's, for me, a number that shows divine timing. It shows that this is a time where you can really build firm foundations that are really going to elevate your sense of self. Your ability to manifest is heightened as well in the physical, to manifest abundance for yourself. And there's also this element of really kind of bringing yourself into this place of an empowered leadership through the work that you choose to focus on. So Thinker, let's take a look at number 44. Okay, so it says essential meanings: strategy, being analytical and logical. The oracle's message: the ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. I like that. Keep it simple. So I'm also going to read the prosperity message because that's what we're looking at in these readings, about where you want to bring prosperity into an aspect of your current experience. So it says, calculated action is called for now. It is important to sit down and plan a strategy. Focus on the steps you're going to take to claim your prosperous life. Lists are your friend now, so get out your journal. Write down what you're going to do today to signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance. Your plans and strategies will yield wonderful results. Remember, your most effective strategic partner is Spirit. You will win this game and your triumph will be for the highest good of all. And I like that. So I like that it says, get ready today. Start writing down what you want. What do you want to build for yourself? What do you want to achieve that's going to make you feel that you are physically abundant, and that it's also coming from a very empowered place for yourself. So this is a really good month when we're thinking about miracles coming in, about simply just getting very clear as to what you want. What do you want more of? What do you want to build for yourself? What is in alignment with bringing you a sense of personal empowerment, and really start to write that out. Say, this is what I want to do. I want to level up in my career, so I'm going to start to apply every day to 5 different places. I want to level up in my family life, so I'm going to put a plan in place to start to save towards these specific goals. I really want X, Y, and Z. So this is a beautiful time to really manifest through intention. Let's get ahead. Let's go ahead and get a card here. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. This first one here, and I'll pull clarifiers for each card as well. This first card here is for the concept of curiosity. And this is where Spirit would like you to be curious and open to where you might be potentially blocking yourself from allowing this opportunity or miracle to come in. So where you might be blocking yourself from really leaning into setting that intention and having faith that just by setting it and by getting very practical, that it will come to be. So let's see here. What does Scorpio need to know about where to be curious? And I really like the concept of curiosity because it allows us, when we utilize it in its most empowered form or state, it keeps us forward focused. It keeps us in that suspended state of optimistic curiosity where we're constantly wondering what's around the next bend. Where is there more for me? And it keeps us looking down the path, and it keeps us moving forward down that path to find out. Okay, so we have rest and rejuvenation, number 19, breaking down to number 10, further breaking down to number 1. So there's a feeling of kind of the closing out of a major cycle, the end of a cycle, and the beginning of something new. But with rest and rejuvenation being the place to be curious at where you're blocking yourself, this could definitely be where you are not in a place of kind of rest and rejuvenation, that you haven't allowed yourself to really have that alone time to get in touch with yourself. This can be where you're being overworked. This can be where you're taking on too much in your kind of social life or family life. And when we think about thinker here, someone who is strategizing, someone who is able to start the planning process, start to put the steps in place, it's very hard to think clearly when we are stressed, when we are being overworked, when we're in a place of anxiety, worry, or just, in that day-to-day kind of rat race of trying to fulfill all of our duties and obligations. And so I think this is that month to really be aware of where are you not allowing yourself to decompress. And when I think about rest and rejuvenation, yeah, it could be literally taking a nap here and there or leaving work a little bit early. But that's not for everybody. Sometimes rest and rejuvenation comes when we just allow ourselves to be creative, to pick up a hobby that we've kind of put down or forgot about. This is where maybe you do just want to spend that extra time, going out and playing, intramural soccer, or you do want to spend time on the computer just playing some of your favorite computer games. There's something here where it's like you just need to get back to that Zen place that allows you to really focus on perhaps an aspect of yourself that you've been missing, that kind of getting back to you. Like I like to see here that this individual has his eyes closed and that it's almost like he's tapping back into his superpowers, into his magic, getting ready to then go out to build the intentions. But it's hard to have those intentions when you're so stressed and overwhelmed that you can't actually see clearly the intention that's for you and not maybe as part of something greater than yourself. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. We'll see what it wants to come up for that. So this is a powerful time. The miracle really is just here for yourself. It's very clear. It's just simply setting the intention for what you want. But again, it's about setting that intention for what you want with a very, clear mind to say, I can do it. This can happen. I just need to put the plan in place, and that's it, and start to execute it. Yeah, Hermit. This is almost the exact same energy. The Hermit is someone who goes within, takes that momentary pause, and reconnects with their own light, with their own uniqueness, their own individuality, and realizes that the way forward is held from the light they find within that they put in the lantern to shine the way forward for themselves. So this is double confirmation that this is really about going in and reconnecting to your light, what makes you special, what makes you unique, what lights your fire, so that if you were to be in complete darkness searching for the path forward, that your own light would show the first steps on that path, that maybe you're reconnecting with a deep passionate desire that you've maybe turned your back on, and you realize I have to start, these aren't the first steps. I have to reconnect with my creativity again, or I have to reconnect with interacting with people again, or I have to reconnect with my children. And there's something here around something within yourself that you're going to find, because the Knight of Coins is that long-term vision for yourself. It's seeing what you have now, looking towards the future, and planning those careful step-by-step actions so that you reap the rewards of what you sow in the spring and summer. You reap those rewards in the fall. This is a card of Virgo, and Virgo is the sign of the harvest, of what we reap. So this is a beautiful time to really just go within, find your own magic. Don't let anything stand in the way of that or block that, whether it's external circumstances or people or influences. Find getting back again, just the core of who you are, getting in touch with the beauty of that, and then really using that to shine the way forward, to see that path forward. Okay. Now I'm going to pull a card for the concept of courage. And this is where Spirit would like you to have the courage to really follow the message on this card, so that you can have the courage to be open for the miracle that wants to come in. Let's see, what does Scorpio need to know about the miracle that wants to come in, and where they really need to stay in a place of courageous action. Okay, so surrender, defensiveness. Now, another sign got this as well in the same place. And it says, I think it was Gemini actually that got this. So you might be dealing with a Gemini, very good possibility, or you have strong Gemini placements in your chart. It says, defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. So when I think about surrender, defensiveness, a lot of times this can actually almost like trigger us when this card comes up, and you're like, well, I have a right to defend who I am, right? This is the whole point of me getting back to the magic of myself. And then I don't want people questioning the plan I put in place because of that. And, we get defensive when we realize the value in what we want to protect. There's a feeling of when we know that something is important to us, we want to stand in front of it and really hold it, precious. We want to protect it. We want to make sure that it doesn't get out there, get hurt, be seen. And I think for some of us, there can be this place with defensiveness where we maybe are getting in touch with this very deep individual part of who we are. And when we start to bring that out and say, I really am making a plan towards bringing this part of myself out, to showing this part, to allowing myself to integrate this into my future plans, the intention I want for myself now, then people can critique that. They might say, like, well, why do you want to follow that hobby? Why do you want to take time off from work to write a book? Like, that's kind of silly and and foolish in today's economy. How are you ever going to make ends meet? It's kind of one of those things where, but instead of kind of getting back and attacking that individual, or all of a sudden pulling your idea back and saying, well, I'm just not going to share that with anybody because I don't want people to see it. There's a feeling here of almost that the more you kind of calm down from that place and realize, yeah, everybody's going to see something that you want in a different way, and they're going to have their own critiques and their own judgments of it, as you would of them, Scorpio. So keep that in mind, that often, there's that feeling here of, you might be also critiquing it could be on both sides. You might have somebody in your life who's also defending something that they are equally passionate about, or that they equally want to set as an intention. But there's a feeling here of getting to that place of calm, because I really like how it says to communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. And this may just be simple as hearing the person out and saying, I hear your fears. I understand, your worry for me or your worry for us and how this could impact, whatever we share together. But at the heart of this, you fell in love with me. This could be something along the lines of maybe it's a partnership and one of you wants to, you want to decide, to maybe branch off and start to build your own business, or again, start to pick up on a hobby that really speaks to something within yourself. But there's something here around really getting to that place to say, if it's a friend or a family member or a significant other who's maybe critiquing you, to say, I've really come back to this place of realizing that this is my talent. This is my deep dream. This is what I get to contribute to the world. This is the light that I get to shine out. And in doing this thing, in following this intention and making this dream happen for myself, it really elevates my entire experience. It allows me to utilize my light. And it's very hard for other people to argue with that kind of thought process. When we're thinking of the thinker, it's very hard for people to say, oh, when they tell you that this is something that they would love to do and shine out into the world, it's very hard to say, well, I still think it's a stupid idea. It's very difficult for somebody to come back and say that. Instead, somebody might come back and say, wow, I had no idea how important that was to you. Or I had no idea that, I can see now this is a talent that you have that needs to be expressed. So really think about that. When you're getting to that place of, feeling like, well, don't critique me or what I have or what I want. It's instead realizing it's really coming to that place, and that can only come again when you really have come to that place of rest and rejuvenation, where you are in touch with your own magic and you realize it. Like you feel it in your bones. You're like, this is me. This is what, when I stand in a room full of people, this is who I am. This is what I bring versus what everybody else brings. And yes, 2 of Wands right here. This is making a decision to go in a new direction. So for some of you, this could be a time of setting an intention for something very life-changing. There's some powerful things happening in the sky right now. Some really interesting planetary transits that haven't happened in hundreds of years. And for some of you, you may be feeling that energy, maybe tapping into that to make a big life change right now, setting an intention for a course that maybe was very different than the original course you had set out upon. And the star. Oh, wow. This is kind of a faded, when the star comes out like this, and the 2 of Wands and the Hermit, and there's an element of kind of a faded time period for you. And I don't mean faded in a negative way. It's that this is a time where you really do have that portal to allow the miracle to come in, which is simply just in setting a clear goal. You can see that the individual looking here, she's looking towards the individual with the star. Now, the star and the Hermit are actually 2 halves of the same coin. The star is the realization that each one of us has our own guiding star in the sky, that each one of us has a dream, a hope, a need, a grand wish for our lives that is always kind of that guiding principle. The Hermit is the one to realize that the star is actually never outside of himself. It's actually within. The dream, the needs, the great desire that we have lies within us. And that's what we get to shine out. The light doesn't shine from us, or that it's never far away from us. It's always within us. So this is that beautiful realization of that kind of faded aha of, this is who I am, and this is what I want, and this is the intention I'm setting for myself. And I don't have to become defensive around it, because it's just as simple as that. This is the dream. I'm hearing the song from Les Mis, but it's a beautiful place and a beautiful realization to come to if you really allow yourself to get to that place of rest and rejuvenation, whatever can help you bring yourself to that place of really getting in touch with your internal guidance. Ooh, and I love this. I think you actually got this in your illumination reading too. It says, share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. Yeah, I feel like there's a part of yourselves that you guys have been hiding. Whether it's simply that you've just been hiding yourself away from the world. We've all kind of gone through a traumatic experience over the past few years. And many of us have had to kind of deal with our own internal change of perspective about life and what we hold true and what we hold valuable. And for some of us, it has felt like kind of maybe being in a cave where we have maybe hidden our new perspectives, or we felt like we had to kind of go within and hibernate a little to kind of, integrate all of what just happened. But now it's saying it's time for you to come out. It's time for you to express this part of yourself, because we don't have these dreams, these hopes and desires just to hide them. We have them so that we can eventually find where they can fit, find where they can be of service to the greater collective experience, so that we can all elevate together. And it's a really beautiful concept to think about it in that way. And I think for some of you, it's time. It's time to share this part of yourself that has been growing within, or maybe that you've been pushing down. And, don't be afraid to go out there. This can even be for some of you, maybe you've taken a hiatus on social media and it's time to start reconnecting with people again. It's time to start showing what you're passionate about. It's time to start showing the intention that you want for your life. This can also be, where you start to just connect with more people. Maybe it is where you start to connect a passion you have with perhaps the world of business and work, that you start to, put out the what do you call it? Resumes towards maybe a field that you felt you have no experience in, but yet you feel called to get into. And it's time now to make that decision to do that. But remember, it's this month, the miracle comes in through simply tapping into the magic of who you are and then setting a clear intention based from that. Clear intention for a new way forward. Okay, I'm going to get a final card here for Share Your Voice, and then we'll get one for Love as the final card. So Scorpio, compared to some of the other readings, yours is a very clear-cut reading. The energy is very, I feel, crisp, which is great, because this is a month where you can really level up with a clear intention and really get that dream in your heart as the guiding principle. There we go. Okay. So we have Giraffe Spirit, see the big picture, number 29. I love that. Number 29, breaking down to master, number 11. Ooh, and there's another one. Skunk Spirit, know your worth, number 54, breaking down to a 9. I love that. 9 is the closing out of a cycle where we get to really integrate all the lessons learned. And master number 11 is the number that is the portal between what is and what can be when we co-create with faith and confidence in spirit. So I like to see the bigger picture. There is this element here of, I think, again, going within to see how you can fit into the greater collective experience, where you can share your gifts. And when we do share our gifts and we choose to follow and shine our light, that's often where the most abundance will come in for us. That's when we will feel like we are in flow. That's when we feel like we've made the right decision to follow our dream. And it makes it very easy for us to see and know our worth, because we understand the value of that magic. We won't take it for granted. We won't let other people take it for granted. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a final card here for the concept of love, and that just came right out. It says, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. I love that. So there's something here around, either I'm looking at this just kind of as a general message. Yes, this could be for looking at it for romantic love. It could be that maybe you've been literally, working hard, and maybe you just, that romantic partnership has just eluded you and you feel like it's just never going to come. And I think this is saying that divine timing is at work in your love life, because often what I've seen personally, and I've experienced it myself in my own life, that we can't call in the perfect partner for us until we are very clear on our own self-value and worth. It's very hard to get into a healthy relationship without understanding what we bring to that partnership, and in a healthy way, and to really be able to shine that part of yourself out there and to be proud of it so that the other person can do the same. I also think too that worth waiting for, there might be an opportunity here to really be able to make a decision to follow a path for yourself. That when we think about self-love, love for ourselves, that there is some that there's been something that is worth waiting for, that maybe you have been putting your head down and, you've been working in a specific way, or you've been, just putting your head down in some aspect where you kind of are hiding yourself. And it's time now to say, yeah, this intention may take some dedicated long-term planning, but once we realize what we want, and once you set that intention, you set that course, and you start to put in the little baby steps. What's crazy is that what you don't realize is that the divine timing is you will call in this intention. You will realize it, and it will be so worth waiting for. This could be like maybe some of you are deciding to go back to school for something. Maybe you've realized you've always wanted to be, you can throw anything out there. You've always wanted to be a doctor, or you've always wanted to be an actor. And suddenly you're like, my gosh, I need to go back to school to train for this. Or I need to move to Los Angeles and start taking acting courses out there. There's something though that where as long as you set the intention and it comes from a place of authenticity, that even if it doesn't manifest immediately, the results are going to be worth waiting for. And again, it could be an individual that comes into your life. The more that you start to realize and work with your magic because you're shining your light, so you're attracting them to you. Or this can be the realization that, yeah, even if you have to go back to school for 6 years to become a doctor, the end result is going to be so fulfilling for yourself. And you can focus on that to really step up into the dream. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave you here with that. Again, very powerful message for you this month. Set that intention for yourself, but also focus on finding that time to get in touch with you and to write out really what you do bring uniquely to the situation, who you as an individual, if everything else was stripped away from you, what do you just bring as yourself? And that's where you're going to find the miracle waiting for you. All right, Scorpio, if you'd like to book a personal reading, or if you'd like to just learn more about the services I have to offer, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in next month's Illumination reading. Bye, Scorpio.